Alright, hi guys. So I have treatment in the afternoon, so I have to write now, and I just checked a bunch with the editors about the contract and the privilege things and the LOA and the MGS and everything that is web novel, and a lot of things have changed. So basically, I'm still trying to collate the information while I'm waiting for a contract, but this is the new work, so links are in description. Links are in the description. Please leave a review and a vote. So I think the new chapter is out. Let me just check. I think the new chapter is out. It should be chapter 10. It's not out. Okay, well, the new chapter will be out today, and I guess you guys can see that I have a special quest in there, which is basically leave a review of a very specific kind. That's what yeah. Anyways, Alright, I can't show this screen share because I'm using a different software. This is vDraw, by the way, for those of you who are interested. It's a paid software. I think there's a free version, but this one's a paid version. I paid for it because I actually like this software. It doesn't use camera tracking at all, so it's very comfortable as a VTuber. It only tracks my mouse, so you can see I'm moving my mouse, but I don't need a webcam. So previously I didn't have a webcam. I'll use this one. And the model is it's a 3D model, so you have to use a 3D model for this one if I'm not wrong. It's from VRoid, so you can use VRoid to create your own 3D model. I paid for a lot of these asset things on VRoid itself, but you don't have to. It's free. You can actually do it free, and if you know a little bit of Blender, you can do it as well. But without further ado, let me just turn on the background music. I did not think this through. Hold on. Yes, okay, so hopefully you guys can hear the background music, right? So I'm gonna be doing a writing stream for this chapter really quick as some kind of promo for my new work as well. It's cultivation, Eastern cultivation. I used the help of ChatGPT for this. Like, remember there was a time whereby I used ChatGPT and I teach you how to outline using ChatGPT, right? I taught you how to edit certain things and rewrite certain flows from ChatGPT as well. But I'm using this mostly to gather information. So you know how writing is like 80% of research work, right? So basically what I do can I actually switch this out? Hold on, let me just see if I can screen capture this. I think I can. Hold on. これかな? Oh, it's so tiny. Holy shit. Okay. Right, so this is I'll shift this back later on, but anyways, this is what it is. ChatGPT. So this is for my school, so APA citation helps, but yeah, ChatGPT can do this as well. But for now, what I did was, let me just scroll all the way up and show you what I did. Alright, so this is like the initial part of where I had to find like the world building stuff, so I got this all down. I'll show you where all this goes later on when I switch to my Scrivener. This one took me about an entire freaking day. So these are some of the, like, I watched a lot of these wuxia movies when I was like small, so I know, a matter of fact, like some of these things exist, but I don't recall exactly the names, and I don't know how it's translated to English. So for example, qinglong is like literally, when you see qing, you think that qing is actually like green, but it translates to azure. I'm like, okay. And this is 朱月, which kind of means phoenix, but then it's like a vermilion bird. I was like, okay. 白虎 is literally the translation here. 玄武 is not, it's snake tortoise, but they say black tortoise, so I don't really know it, but anyways, it is what it is. So I also did a lot of this research stuff, like the Qilin. Like, I know the Qilin exists, but I didn't really quite know what the Qilin does. I only know that the Qilin is like a prophet kind of thing, so I use that prophet nature of what I know, even though it's not really written in here, to create a sect that creates a similar kind of like prophetic role. And then I was like, okay, this part here, if you're a writer, you know for a fact that coming up with names is not as easy as chucking it and throwing it in. You have to find a name that is, firstly, easy to remember, and secondly, relatable to the character itself. It's kind of like a foreshadowing in itself. So if you want to go for comedy, go for Bob, you know? Like, the name Bob is so generic, it just makes sense. But the rest of it, it's kind of a little bit difficult. Like, for example, when I was doing Godfather World, I put Zen as a name, because the family name was Taro, and then the name itself was Zen. So I wanted something contrasting with all the other names of assassins, because he is a civilian, but he's in an assassin school. Not really assassin school, he's in a mafia school. He was like the wrong place at the wrong time, but he's the star of the show. So Zen was the name, and then Zero was the name of Ball of Nothing. So as some of you guys know me from there, Ball of Nothing was actually a philosophical fiction, which means that Zero is actually a contradiction name. So it's like grade 1 and 0 are meant to contradict each other, but they are actually the same entity. So I'm not gonna spoil you there, because I did a stream a few years back about the ending, the true ending of what Ball of Nothing was supposed to be before I dropped it. Yeah, speaking of which, hopefully I don't drop this one either, because I know Ball of Nothing I cut short at like 600 over chapters, and then after that I cut short Monarch of Solitude at like 200-ish chapters, so they both have over 10k collections by the time I was done. But anyways, I have a habit of not toughing it out, because the growth is so slow, and I have a lot of projects and priorities I want to get done. So it's kind of like posthumous success from the track record that I have with web novel. But don't worry, like instant fiction, I think the only niche that supports instant fiction is in web novel itself, so I don't think I will try and end this as soon. Like maybe I'll have troubles keeping it daily updates, but I will try to see it to the end, kind of like Godfather's Will. So I have 2 works that are currently ongoing, and I have like 13 more novels to edit, but some of the names that I wanted to know are these. And I see my name here, so this is my surname, by the way. Hello Ken Bush, morning to you as well. I am fighting against time actually, so I want to be done with the chapter ASAP. The writing is the easy part, the research is not, so I'm explaining a little bit more on my research and brainstorming process for new work. This is my surname, by the way. I was so surprised when I saw this here, and I was like, you know what, it's gonna be kind of weird to see myself in here, so I decided against it, and I chose something else from here. So yeah, these are like some of the name things. Then you can ask ChatGPT for all these things, because it collates from all sources and even translates some stuff, if I'm not wrong. So there it is. And then I was like, yeah, I see all this, but I kind of like don't know the origins and like the history of all these names. Like Huang literally just means yellow. Like, huh? Yellow? And Cao is actually like Cao Cao, you know, it comes from a general. And then after that, yeah, I found all these meanings here, so I needed the meanings in here, so I chose one. I chose this one for like the supreme, because it means beginning or to start. So I'm like, okay, this actually means something. Yes, I wasn't feeling well from the last stream. I'm still not feeling well. So that I'm still undergoing treatment, so I'll be going in the afternoon today, which is why I'm rushing all this. And yeah, so I chose this one, and I chose a couple of these as well. I came up with some of it myself, because I had like I'm Chinese, by the way. I don't ching chong that well, but I know my basics, so I use some of it. And then these are some of the things that I wanted to know. So I wanted a meaning that was this, right? So I wanted a character to portray this, and then there's this. So I want to write a very green flag story. You know, it's gonna be kind of different from all the mainstreams where you see a character created just to be hated for. No, that's not it. Alright, it's not my story. Well, anyways, and then these are some of the names that I want for Curious in itself. So I was like trying to formulate like the kind of characters I can use for names, because a lot of readers are actually not Chinese. So yeah, and then I just like, you know, so I put the surname after I chose it, and then I wanted something that means something else. So these are some of the things that they have, and then if I don't like these suggestions, I just go again, and then after that I like copy maybe one of this and maybe one of this, and then I put it together and it becomes a name, because Chinese names are just like that. Yeah, so that you can see I was having trouble with this guy. I was having trouble with this guy, like massive trouble with this guy. What was his name again? Zhang. Yeah, it's because he's the leader of the Azul Dragon. So I was like trying to think of a character at the same time, but I was like, yeah, this guy, he's righteous, but at the same time he's kind of not like the smartest tool in the shed, but he's like the traditional kind of hero, some other like main characters. And I was like, okay, what does this mean? So ge as in like normal or standard of form. So I was like, oh, okay, so I decided to add this in as well. And then over here, like, this is probably one of the most common surnames here, apart from mine. In Singapore, you're either Chen. If you're not a Chen, you're either a Lin or Chen. That's it. Like, the two most common surnames is Lin and Tan in Singapore. So, yeah, you get used to it, man. And then some of these names here, so it's basically a lot of name generations that I use ChatGPT for, especially when the meanings and translator over here, it's so good. And then you don't have to think because it gives you like top 10, right? If you don't like top 10, you just go down and then you just do another one and then they reshuffle the whole thing for you. But literally these are the best top 10 that you can choose, so I don't see anyways. ChatGPT is not like the most smart program up there because they give you the meaning of these names but they don't actually think of context whether it works or not, because this kind of name that's 4 characters, you actually do not see it unless your surname is 2 characters, which I've only known a name of 2 characters, which is like Situ, C2. So Situ something something, and the 2 characters behind are literally your name. So your surname is 2 characters, your name is 2 characters, you add them up, it's gonna be 4 characters in total. That's how it works, yes. But this one doesn't work because Yen is gonna be like a surname, and then after that this 3 is a name. No, it doesn't work that way. So ChatGPT always use it with like general knowledge first. It's just a tool for you, it's not always gonna be right. You will get slammed by Chinese readers on the web novel app. I don't know about Chinese readers, but there are readers from China geography. I was like, why is the geographic location China 7%? I was like, why? But anyway, so Nian Yang is a name that I created, and I just wanted to know if this makes sense. So yes, I guess it is. And then mostly name generation for like the longest time, and then after that this part here. So I wanted a little bit more versatility in the tone and writing. So at the beginning, I wanted to set something of a expectation for the readers, right? But then it's like I wasn't professional enough in a tone of pacing it out. So it was really rough, and I had to rewrite it. So I want to emphasize the glamour of old achievements and prestige. So it's a little bit more towards traditional writing in a descriptive sense. But I'm not a descriptive writer. But I had this written. So do not ask ChatGPT to write for you. You come out with the points that you want first, which is something like that. And then you get ChatGPT to repackage it for you into a way that sounds what you are looking for, which is this. So what I first written, I think this was in chapter 1. So Anji remained indoors with her mother the whole day while the servants and sick disciples busied away to welcome the esteemed guests who traveled from far. The Rainbow Alliance banquet was once held every 10 years at the leader's sect. Zhao Mingfeng was appointed the Alliance's leader about 30 years ago after he contributed the most to taking down the demon-worshipping sects. Since then, the Celestial Dragon sect enjoyed the prestige that came with it as well as the responsibilities. You can see this is a very telling kind of thing, right? I did very little showing in here, but I just wanted the vibe of the content, and then I asked ChatGPT to repackage it for me, so they added in a little bit more tone in here, in a third person, but a little bit more like a omniscient, like a God's eye kind of perspective for it. So it now rewrites it as such. Anzi spent the entire day indoors with her mother as the household servants and sect disciples hustled to prepare the arrival of esteemed guests who journeyed from distant lands. So over here, you can see that they have employed writing techniques that I did not on the above here. For example, there's a contrast of indoors and hustling outside, and then there is a indoors arrival and distant lands. So it tells you that the importance of people coming over based on context in China itself. So yep, the Rainbow Alliance banquet held once in a decade at the leader's sect. It was a celebration of all achievements steeped in glamour and prestige. This part here, I changed it. When I copied it, I changed it because it wasn't what I wanted. Alright, and then the next part here. So it splits into a different paragraph because I wanted the pacing as well. Nearly 30 years prior, I think I changed this as well. Zhao Mingfeng had been appointed as the Alliance's leader for his unparalleled contributions in dismantling the demon worshipper sect. So dismantling is not a word that you use for this, you know? You actually take them down in a bloody battle. Like, it's not dismantling a piece of furniture. It's not as simple as that. So I changed it as well, if I'm not wrong. And then since then, Celestial Dragon said, basking in the radiant glow of its illustrious past, adorned with the weighty responsibilities that accompany its elevated status. This part here I changed as well because it's a little bit too much. It's glamorous and prestigious, but they're not flaunting it like peacocks. You know, they're just respecting the history of it. So I changed this as well. You can use ChatGPT to use that. Right, and then I wanted to have a little bit more of a cheeky vibe, you know? So this is like a very typical scene that you see, but yeah, I was like, it's not very childlike enough, you know? And then from this, what we think of cheeky and Asian doesn't translate to cheeky in Western, so I obviously rejected this one. Alright, so hey mom, can you spin the tail? I'm like, yeah, if you call your mom in ancient China like hey mom, you're gonna get slapped to your, like, all the way back to your ancestors. You know, this is not it. So I rejected this one and I kept this one instead. But yeah, so ChatGPT has like limitations in it. You have to be humble and stuff. And then I forgot some parts of I forgot some parts of the history, like the translation parts of, I know in the back of my mind what it's called in Mandarin, but then I forgot what it is. So I had to do this, like I wanted to ask like 结拜兄弟, right? 结拜兄弟 is like literally translated into sworn siblings, so they swore an oath and stuff. But how do you invite someone to become a sworn sibling? Like, I forgot. So I had to ask the translation of this in the wuxia world, like the Murim world, like, you know. And then they translated this, which is a little bit weird, but I guess it's fine because they're English readers, right? So it's a hybrid at this point. I try to keep the tradition, but the translation is kind of lost in there. So please note that this is an original work. It's not written from China. It's written by a Chinese person in Singapore. That's the difference. I don't know all the cultural approaches, but I decided to go with the respectful one over here, of one that is, you know, of mutual understanding and a little bit poetic for the scene, because both of them were inclining towards scholars, but they're from cultivation families, so it's a little bit of both. And I didn't copy this, but I referenced to this because I forgot how to ask what is 结拜兄弟. I was like, yeah, and then there was like a really, really famous fixed phrase in Chinese about how it went about. I decided to skip the entire skin because I cannot translate that properly. And I was like, it will be bashed. So I decided not to. And then the only one that I remember about this Chinese board games thing is like, I remember scholars play a different thing. It's the one whereby you block people. But in my head, it keeps on translating to chess. And I was like, no, that's not chess. What is it called? So I had to like get some of the insights from ChatGPT. Imagine if I went to Google instead of ChatGPT. ChatGPT gave me this in like 5 seconds. Google would have taken me like 5 minutes. I saved so much time. And the first one that appears here, Weiqi. This is the #1 game where all the smart people play, okay? It's worse than chess. So 象棋 is what I learned. Let me tell you, 象棋 is not easy, but at the same time, it's probably easier than a lot of other mind, like board games and mental whatever strategy games things. But yeah, this one here, 围棋, oh my god, I cannot. It's like Othello but worse, because you cannot remove pieces and you can block people, but then you can't flip them over, you can't overtake them with strategy and stuff. So I'm just like, yep, nope, I cannot, I'm not playing that. And then this part here, so I am very new to Murim cultivation, right? I think I posted, let me just see, yeah, I think I posted like the contents of guide that I'm using. These are both generated by ChatGPT as well. So Murim ranks, this one is generated by ChatGPT itself. I just copied and pasted. This is my reference, okay? I might change a few things, but this is literally my reference. And then this one over here, this is also my, okay, the colors are what I put in myself, but the rest of the whatever stages of course or whatever, these are literally what the ChatGPT gave me as a guide. So I was like, okay, if there are 10, I'll follow 10. But I couldn't like differentiate between this one, 8, 9, and 10. So I was like, yep, they're about the same. And then this one here. So yeah, so I was like, what the hell is cultivation? So I asked the wrong question here, right? Because I was like, yeah, it kind of makes sense, but it also kind of doesn't make sense. Because, yeah, so I'm a little bit confused. And then after that, I think I asked another one. Here, this was the correct question. How many types of cultivation? That's the one I wanted to do. But then I wasn't quite sure. So initially I asked this and then I was like, yeah, it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense because it didn't give me details on what I wanted to find. And then eventually it became this. Tarang. No, this is the etiquette thing. Yeah, I don't know my etiquettes very well. But anyways, this part over here, I needed this because like the internal, external, spiritual, and elemental, and yeah, there's so many of these kind of things, right? And also dual cultivation. Surprise, surprise, it's actually just one kind of cultivation. It's not everything, but they're like methods, you know? So I based on this information to break it up with whatever that's going on behind the scenes. So yeah, that's my research till now on this section. Alright, I'm gonna show you guys how I do it on Scrivener. I paid for this. It's not correct. It's expensive. Right, so if you take a look on the left column over here, there's plot, there's character profiles, and whatever not. Okay, these are actually things that I already have preset in Scrivener for any web novel projects. It's under the Aitsuji profile thing. But anyways, I fill this in. I took a long time to fill this all in, okay? And then I even have the Chinese characters over here with the meaning and stuff like that. So in case I forget, I can refer it back and then I can Google it. But generally, so this is the master outline, right? By the way, this is also given by a web novel, not web novel, ChatGPT itself. Ta-dang, as such. Right, so I don't agree with all of these, but I can't be bothered to change it yet. So what I want to focus on is season 1, but season 1 might be a lot faster than I thought, because after the introduction there is like this alliance meeting, and that's just introducing the world setting and the characters in it. That's all. Literally, that's all. Ta-da. So I've done so much already, can you see, in like 10 chapters. So this part here is kind of like a foreshadowing, and I will be locking my chapters after this. Yep. So anybody who's actually interested after this season 1 ends, you can continue to read for free with FastPass, or you can start paying for the premium chapters. Alright, and then these are some of the... Yeah, remember I said the guy who is like a typical hero, strong but dumb? Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. Ta-da! Alright. Okay, so over here, there are all these characters here, so I had to put in a little bit. And then this is the like main characters family, so obviously it's going to be drawn out a little bit more, but you can see right now there's not a lot of details here. Okay, and then after that over here, so some of these things, okay, this one is a foreshadowing. I'm just gonna break it down for those of you who are on stream first for this work. There is gonna be a little bit of a political influence in this Murim world, which usually doesn't cross, but in my case it does cross a little bit. I don't want it to be like the whole beef of it, because it should be about cultivation, right? It should be about auntie. It should be about auntie basically. And yeah, so this is it. And then there are like some of these that are mentioned, but I have no specific things going on. So it is what it is right now. It's not a lot. This is the one that I got from ChatGPT. It's under world building. So this is the one that I reference to a lot. And then this is like the master manuscript. So I'm in the first one right now. Wait, let me just change it back. Alright, I'm actually here. I'm here. Yeah, so this is what I'm doing. This is what's gonna be published today, somewhere later. So I need to write a little bit more in advance to prepare myself for the privileged chapters that are coming up. So hopefully you guys who are new to my works, and because I haven't written for web novel in a long time and I'm doing a new genre, so maybe you guys are a little bit more familiar with what I'm doing right now. Yep, so without further ado, I'm gonna be writing because I don't feel like answering my brother who is being an ass. He didn't make an appointment. I have an appointment and he's like suddenly, oh, I'm going for my lunch myself because you're busy. And I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. Okay, I don't want to explain to people my stream schedules and my commitments to fit there. Whatever, I already have problems with the treatment center because they're being such an ass about the arrangements. But anyways, let's get started with writing. If you guys still have any questions after this, just let me know because I have my mic. I will answer instead of type this time. Alright, is the volume check okay? I think it's okay. The BGM should be, the background music should be fine. Alright, let's get started. I don't know how I'm gonna start this. Hmm. Staggeringly magnitude. That's bullshit. They remove my eye all the time. Right, so you can see what I just did was I wrote something, and then after that there was this AI thingy from Grammarly itself. By the way, this is premium Grammarly that I paid for. And then I changed it into something that I thought was a little bit better, but I didn't like it, so I completely edited it. Yep, that's how it works. Use AI to assist you, and not to do things and take away your job. You still need the brains. AIs are just hands and legs, okay? Right, so basically I'm done with the chapter. Usually I try to keep it about 1000-ish words, but for the MJS I'm gonna have to keep it at 1005 per chapter. If not, I have to write 2 chapters. But anyways, that's for future me to worry. Where is my Grammarly though? What the hell? It disappeared? Okay, it's here. Ta-dang! All those lines that you see, my god. Okay, let's start with the beginning one. Right, this is basic edit, so I'm not like editing for Amazon. I'm not doing it for KDP. When I do that kind of edit, it's gonna be a lot different. But for now, I'm just checking on phrasing, grammar, and stuff like that. Yep, okay, fuck this. Okay, so basically this is what I do after I make sure that everything is cleaned off like this. I don't even bother to read it because I read it while I was going through. There may be a lot of typos in between. I have no idea because Grammarly doesn't actually pick out many of my typos. But then, once I'm done, I copy this and I paste it and then I schedule it. And that's the end of it. So yeah, that's all. Any questions while I'm actually uploading this? This is gonna be for tomorrow's chapter. So I'll copy this and this as well. The web novel let me know how many word count there is. So there is 1,000. Wait, where's the word count? 1,243 words. So this is going to be scheduled. Let me see. It's on the drafts right now. Okay, I'll be launching it at about 5 p.m. ish, because that happens to be the time that a lot of people start reading after 5 p.m. So I'm gonna put it at 5 p.m. ish. This is 6 May. So I'm gonna put this for 7th May. Right, the reason why I'm only going to do daily updates from now on is because I need to start preparing for the eventual, what do you call that? The eventual web novel thing that is called locked chapters and privilege and all the, you know, MGS requires you to do 1,500 words, right? So I'm going to prepare for that. And MGS, okay, assuming that this month I get the contract and I start locking chapters, it can only lock from next month onwards if I'm not wrong. So I have to try and finish season 1 within this month, and I have to start preparing chapters with 1,500 word count every chapter for next month, which is in June. And if I'm not wrong, according to my calculations, June has 30 days, right? July is 31, and then August is also 31, which kind of sucks. And then there's September. So yeah, those should be my 4 months if I'm not wrong. So June, July, August, September, those are my MGS months. Yeah, I think the web novel WSA thing, I'm not sure when it ends, but it's somewhere around there as well. September-ish, October-ish, somewhere there. Yeah, I have to like really finish before that. But yes. Yep, so it is pretty simple. Yes, it is pretty simple. Writing should not be difficult. Writing is supposed to be the easiest part of the entire process. The one that's difficult is this part here, where you actually outline stuff, as well as your research and your character profiles, and make sure that everything, all the miscellaneous fits. Writing is the easiest. So as you can see, my whole stream over here, although I did say writing is not that hard. It's like one of the easiest process. All you gotta do is just lay down what you want to write and then make sure you follow according to the plan. And if it suddenly doesn't work, you have to redo the plan and make sure that everything runs smoothly, so that all the things that you publish before that doesn't have to get rewritten, just so that you can continue this. So the aim here, okay, it's not possible to remove all the plot holes that you've created in web novel, but the aim here is to keep a consistency of what you want to portray to your readers, because they have subscribed to your book because of it. So if you change your direction somewhere along the way, make sure it's natural. Right, I did make like a stream about catfishing, but catfishing only begins at the start, so you really have to make sure you ingrain within the catfish of your whatever trope that you've chosen to catfish in, that the true essence of your work. Like, I'm not selling this as a romance, okay? I made it very clear. This is not gonna be romance centric. It's gonna be a lot of like family centric. It's gonna be a lot of slice of life, but it's cultivation slice of life. So there's the niche in there, and that's what I'm aiming for. So as you can see, this is a little bit more of a cultivation part, like the first part over here there, right? All these are cultivation, but this part over here is family. So that is my selling point. So it's gonna be green flags. I'm not making a character like other writers just for that character to get hated on, just so that their works become more popular, with more people commenting hate sections and wanting to stake a witch. That's not how I work. But anyways, I hope you guys learned a little bit of something of how I do things behind the scene. It's a rare opportunity because I don't really start new works all the time, and this is just like in the beginning phases of it. So before I actually develop all these things, this is how you can do it. Like, if you're also new to starting a web novel, you can do this as well. So this is why I started the stream. Hopefully this helps. That's all for me. I'm going to eat lunch and then I have to prepare to head out today, like later on, like really soon. So thank you for joining, and I hope to see you guys soon next time. I'm still sick, so I'm going to see treatment for a while, like this entire week. So I don't know when is the next time I'll stream or which channel I'll appear on, but I hope you guys will be there when I do. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a good day.